have a question for you. What is your most valuable resource? Take a minute and think about it. My name is Mackenzie, and I'm about to argue that your most valuable resource is the same as everybody else on the planet. I hope you'll stay tuned. Okay, so what did you come up with? What is your most valuable resource? Time. Time is the common denominator for everybody. We all get the same number of hours in our day, and minutes in our hours, and seconds in our minutes, and so on. How you're spending that time is what differentiates people from each other. It differentiates the successful people from the unsuccessful people. So where are you? Successful? Not so successful? Somewhere in the middle? How can we figure out where you have time in your day to create the life that you want? When I lived in Colorado Springs, I ran several mastermind groups with business owners. And one of the things we did very early on was to track time. Because the most common complaint I hear from people who want or to achieve goals in their life is, well, I don't have enough time for that. I don't have enough time for that. I just want you to know I'm just going to ask you, how does a successful person create the most successful life and have the same number of hours as you? I guarantee the time is there. It's just how you're spending your time. So let's take a look at that for a minute. Studies have been done that show the average person works 25% of their day. So let's look at a 40-hour work week. If that's 2 hours a day that you're working out of an 8-hour day, at the end of the week, you're accomplishing 10 hours in a 40-hour work week. What's happening with the other 30 hours? I don't know about you, but I don't want to be sitting behind a desk doing things that don't really matter to achieve my greater goal. Yes, at a company, they may require you to be there 40 hours a week, but what is that accomplishing? In my opinion, nothing. If you're just sitting at your desk not doing anything, why even bother being there? So if you have goals and plans and ideas for your life, if you want to spend more time with your family, if you want to lose weight, if you want to find the time to play a sport or learn a language, how are we going to go about doing that? The first thing that I want you to do is to start tracking your time. Let's figure out where your time is really going, because I think sometimes when we're just doing busy work or things that don't matter, we think we're working. But the truth is maybe we sit down at our desk in the morning and we spend 20 minutes looking at Facebook and 20 minutes reading through emails that don't matter, and another 20 minutes talking to the guy who stops by your office. These are all time killers and time wasters. And don't get me wrong, they all serve their purpose. But how are you getting laser focused and saying, I want the life of my dreams, and I'm going to get very particular about how I'm spending my time. I love Dave Ramsey because he's a financial guy, so he talks about giving every dollar a purpose. But what if you spent your life giving every minute a purpose, and each minute of your day had meaning and purpose, and you knew exactly what you were going to do with that? If you did that every day, you probably would accomplish everything you wanted to accomplish because you were getting real about what you wanted in your life. So I have created time tracking sheets. If you don't want to get out there and create it yourself, you can send me an email and I'll send those out to you. It's in a PDF. Or you can just get on Google Documents, or you can get on Excel and you can create it. What I'd like you to be doing is tracking your time in 10-minute increments. I've seen other people do it in 5-minute increments, which if you wanted to get that serious about it, I guess you could. But take 1 week and look at how you're spending the time in your day. And be honest. If you're sitting at your desk looking at Facebook, write that in. If somebody stops by your office to chat about what they did last night, write that in. Because that, even though you're at work, doesn't mean you're working. So get real about where your time is going and what you're doing, because I don't think we can fix the problem until we know there's a problem. And I guarantee if you're not living your most fulfilled life, then somewhere you need to make the time for that. And so that's what we're going to look at after you get your time tracking done. So on these time tracking sheets, I've seen people get really creative and color code them, and which is probably a great way to visually see, when you're working, when you're not working, when you're sleeping. But you can do whatever is comfortable for you. And then next week, I'm going to put out a video that's going to talk about getting serious about your time. Because there's a great principle out there called the Pareto Principle, which talks about 20% of what people do creates 80% of the outcome. So if we could get more of our time spent in the 20% of the things that are most important, and we let 80% of things go, we could probably be really productive. And so that's what we need to do. But for right now, I just want you to track your time, get really focused on that. And next week, we'll take a look at where you're spending your most valuable resource. Again, my name is Mackenzie, and I'm here to help you find the time to create your best life. See you next week.